We are here to demonstrate how to assemble a system unit. Watch and learn. Tips for beginners. 1. Always ground yourself before touching any part of your computer. 2. Never work on your computer on carpet or any other surface that builds static electricity. 3. Never attempt to take apart your computer if you are scared of breaking it. 4. Always power off and unplug your computer before trying work on it. 5. Never try to force a part into place. It is likely that it doesn't go there if you have trouble. Before we begin, you must have the following: a case, motherboard, expansion cards, memory card, heatsink, CPU, power supply, case fan, hard drive, floppy drive, optical drive, ribbon cables, screws and a screwdriver. The case is the usually plastic or metal housing that contains the computer's main parts such as the motherboard, hard drive, video card and more. The motherboard serves to connect all of the parts of the computer together. The CPU, memory, hard drives, optical drives, video card, sound card and other ports and expansion cards all connect to the motherboard directly or via cables. The motherboard can be thought of as the backbone of the computer. The video card is an expansion card that allows the computer to send graphical information to a video display device such as a monitor or projector. A network adapter allows a computing device to interface with the local network. Adapters are a required component to include when building a network. FireWire is a high-performance networking standard based on a serial bus architecture similar to USB. Random access memory or RAM is the working memory in a computer. Heatsink is a component designed to lower the temperature of an electronic device by dissipating heat into the surrounding air. A microprocessor controls the computer's functions. It can be as small as a dime or larger such as 1 to 2 inches, but contains millions of transistors that perform millions of instructions per second. The microprocessor performs these instructions using a 3-step process: fetch, decode and execute. An expansion slot usually refers to any of the slots available on the motherboard for PCI, AGP, ISA, or other format expansion cards. The power supply's job is to convert the power provided from the outlet into usable power for the many parts inside the computer case. The hard disk drive is the main, and usually largest, data storage device in the computer. The operating system, software titles and most other files are stored in this device. The floppy disk drive reads data from and writes data to a small disk. The most common type is the 3.5 inches drive, followed by the completely obsolete 5.25 inches drive, among other sizes. An optical disk drive is any storage device that uses light and optical disks to store or retrieve information. ID refers to the types of cables and ports used to connect some hard drives and optical drives to each other and to the motherboard. If you have them all, let's begin the tutorial. Start by placing the CPU in the socket. Apply a small amount of thermal paste. Retrieve the CPU and locate pin 1. Line up pin 1 of the processor with the key corner of the motherboard. Once lined up properly, the CPU should rest in the socket without any force. After the CPU is seated, adjust the socket lever and set it in a lock position. When the lever is locked, the CPU is secured. Once the processor is secured, Attach the heatsink fan assembly using a little force as much as possible so it would not damage the processor. Plug in the heatsink fan's power plug on the appropriate power connector. Place the memory modules in the corresponding slots. Make sure that you hear a click sound that signifies that it is okay. Take note of the notches in the slots and the modules. Mount the power supply. Make sure that you have tightened all the screws very well. Attach the motherboard to the case. Check the motherboard mounting positions. Gently position the motherboard in the case and attach it with screws. Make sure that you have tightened all the screws very well. Attach the case fan connectors to the motherboard. Do the same thing for the power supply fan. Connect the 20 or 24 pin ATX connector. Hook up the front buttons and LEDs. Mount the hard disk. Make sure that you have tightened all the screws very well. Connect all the available expansion cards that you have, namely video card, sound card, firewire, network adapter, etc. Mount the floppy drive. Mount the DVD-ROM drive. Connect the SATA connector. Connect the ATA connector to both devices, and hook them up to the power supply. Lastly, attach the side panel. And there you have it. It is finally done. Your system unit is now ready to use.